live
in all
tonight.
the places.
Live podcast, first of the month. Welcome. I have a message from Rosebud, PA.
Wait, first of the year. Happy 2024.
Yeah.
To all.
Hope you had a nice break.
Welcome.
We were relaxing.
Yeah, we were. Welcome back, everyone.
Yeah. A says Happy New Year, bitches.
Oh, thanks, A.
Mm-hmm. Is your resolution to start telling the truth, or are you going to keep your deceitful ways? There's only one way to find out, and trust me, I'll expose the truth. Please, A, elaborate on these secrets and lies that Michelle and I tell every week. Is it that because you're Michael and that's the lie, is that we are telling the folks that you're Michael, but you're not?
That's literally the only
lie. That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah.
That we could potentially be lying about.
Right.
But
yeah, if you're new here and this is your first time tuning in and you just found us because it's the new year and you're like, I need a new podcast.
Yeah.
We had a personal A last year, and now we have a new A. Person acting as A, or persons.
Yeah, it could be persons.
And we're suspecting that one of those person is one of our listeners.
Yes,
so.
The account was an email, A, from rosewoodpa@gmail.com. And last year, it was our lovely patron and listener, Kate.
Yeah.
And we are pretty sure it's not her again, that someone has taken over the account. So this is really fun, and I can't wait. Maybe by the end of the season, we will have a reveal.
What was the subject line? Was it just Happy New Year?
It was Happy New Year, or New Year, new something. I will go and look at all the emails this time, because last time there was a clue there.
Yeah, keep them coming though.
Yeah. I will put them in a special folder. However, yes, if you're new, we are liars. Literally a Pretty Little Liars podcast. We recap the episode. And Michelle, our newbie, makes predictions. I'm Liz. I've seen this show more times than I should, probably at my age. But it's been a while, so it's like watching for the first time.
Yeah.
We're discussing season 2, episode 8, titled Save the Date. Original air date was August 2nd, 2011, written by Matt Whitten and directed by Chris Grismer. When Emily's dad surprises her before a big swim meet, the pressure sends her to the hospital. Spencer and Aria use the opportunity to dig for clues about Allison's death. I had a couple people write in about this, and also on the wiki and IMDb, everyone was saying how we could assume that we're only in October because the save the date is for November 11th, 2011, which is roughly around 6 weeks from the episode, which makes absolutely zero sense because they started school in September of 2010 and we have not seen an entire year pass. So something's wrong.
Wait, what?
The math ain't mathin'. They didn't really.
You sure we didn't take a summer break?
Nope.
But they took SATs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. All of what we've seen in season 1 and season 2 are all the same year.
No.
I know. It's hard to believe, but it is. We have not had any breaks. We start in the summer right before school.
Right.
We start and we go into school. And we haven't left.
So it's only been 2 months.
It technically has only been 2 months, but to the audience, it feels like we've been watching maybe at least 6 to 8 months of content, but we haven't, which doesn't make any sense.
But, wow.
Mm-hmm. So someone didn't do the math.
What the fudge?
Yeah, the show is, it's a wackadoodle time, but we're going to start with a good review from one of our listeners.
This is so exciting. Our Apple Podcast review says, got a secret. Can you keep it? I can't lie.
Yes.
Manicure emoji or nails emoji. And then the shh.
Love it.
Emoji. I cannot get enough of Liz and Michelle's podcasts. I've been watching the OC for the first time, but I'm caught up currently on the pod to where I'm in the show and needed a new pod to listen to at work. I've seen Pretty Little Liars in its entirety twice now, and I'm so excited to see this pod progress. You ladies are my comfort, and I'm so thankful for you in every season. Okay, I thought I made up my own words there. I'm listening to 3 Gossip Girls as well.
Oh, wow.
Oh, we moved. Look, guys, our green screen. My situation.
We will fix that in a sec.
Yeah. This show is a hot mess, but stick with it. It pays off in the end, especially if you go on to watch The Perfectionists. Lissa's like, we'll see how we're feeling. It only got 1 season, but is easily one of my favorite shows. Would love to hear Anne's perspective on PLL, but I feel like getting him to watch it might be a bit of a stretch. Keep up the great work, ladies. Also, keep an eye out for the author of the book series, Sarah Shepard. She makes a cameo. Also, the set designers for PLL put so many clues out there for the viewers, especially in the ace scenes at the end of the episodes. And this is from Christine Emily. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Wow. Okay, so we got to keep an eye out.
Yeah, I mean, to a point, I feel like you don't even know what you're seeing when you're seeing it, though. And
yeah,
even if you were to see it, and then I just feel like the message boards were so great back in the day, and having the wiki back in the day, because during the episode or after the episode, like everyone, I mean, now we have Reddit, people do posts in there.
Yeah.
But I feel like you would probably miss it, right? First glance, and then come back to it, which people do often with this show.
I think you would have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I go fix that?
Yes.
Thank you.
Just reading my secret chat. I can't read the chat. Okay. Perfect. We looked good. Thanks for keeping an eye out, Michelle.
Eye on our background. Okay,
you adjust.
You got to get strapped in. It's like you're going on an amusement park ride.
A roller coaster.
Yeah.
We haven't done an After Dark.
I know.
Remember After Dark?
I loved that.
I loved it. It always made our episodes so much longer.
I know. but it was fun, though.
It was fun. I loved going on the roller coaster.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get into the nitty gritty of the episode. I'm going to start with Emily because she had some interesting stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
So she's continuing to really intensify her training. She can't even have juice in the morning, this poor girl. She doesn't want to spike her blood sugar, and Hannah's like, I'm having Cocoa Puffs. And I'm like, yes. I would love to be eating some Cocoa Puffs right now. But she's putting on her pain cream because you can see even in this episode, she has a pain. It looks like under her ribs.
Mm-hmm.
And which I'm like, probably not a spot you should be applying pain cream, because it's probably not a muscle pain.
Right.
And Hannah notices that she's been using a lot of this cream. And then we go to school, and Emily is still stressed about everything. And then to add to that, her dad's in town because he was going to have a flight delay. And so he decided to stay and watch her swim meet with the Danby coach, because the Danby scout is coming, and he was excited to potentially get the chance to speak with this scout. So now Emily's really going insane because she's so stressed. And this beyond overly dramatic scene, I mean, I have always said about myself, and I said I'm in physical therapy right now for my shoulder. And I said to her, I go, I'm sure you hear this a lot, but I have a really high tolerance for pain. You could really do whatever you want. I'm not going to tell you that I can't do it, because I just work through the pain. I'm like, but this seemed a little like a lot of pain. And I don't know. I've had very close to having an ulcer in my life. And
really?
Yes. I had a really bad, oh my God, what is it called? I can't think of what the word is called.
Okay, but close.
An attack, a gastritis attack.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, it was very painful, but it wasn't to the point where I needed to fall on the ground and cry and go, So I don't know. Please, anyone out there, I'm not trying to throw shade at Emily saying that she's a little wimp, but I felt like it was a little much for an ulcer.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of fits for how this episode was going.
It was extreme.
Everything was just like amped up. I also am with you when I feel pain. I'm trying to think, like the last time I felt like deep pain.
I mean, you literally had rib broken.
And but I was home.
She danced at my wedding with a broken rib, y'all.
Y'all, I don't, because I was so sucked in. Everything was tight. I felt supported.
Oh,
that's really how I think.
I'm so glad.
But even by myself, my mom has always called me the silent sufferer because I don't.
What is happening? What?
Do you guys see that?
Are they able to do that? No, they wouldn't be able to do that, right? That was so weird.
Oh, you guys did.
We don't know.
Glitter.
Well,
Wait, hold.
Happy New Year? Is that what that was about?
Okay. Quick story. I updated my computer over break, and when I was on Riverside with Seth, I was like talking with my hands, and my hand made a thumbs up, and their like thumbs up bubbles came, and I was like, and Seth was like, "What was that?" I was like, "I have no idea."
Oh my God.
But I didn't know it would work on all these different platforms, and then it did it on Zoom too, on my Zoom meeting. And I was like, what is happening?
It's like recognizing your motion and sending an emoji or something. I don't know. That was really great.
That was so...
I mean, it's fitting. It's the new year, right?
It's the new year.
What happened?
Yeah,
there?
we're on our video, guys, because we're live tonight.
Yes, we are.
Reactions happened. I just turned them off.
That's right.
Gosh,
that was
weird.
So funny.
Yeah.
But anywho, if any of our listeners have ever had an ulcer, please let us know if this was extreme or not.
Yeah. Or maybe you just keep it to yourself. So you don't, I don't know. I think some people
I think you just
feel the
like,
pain.
And then someone will come over and you'd be like, yeah, I think I need to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
I wouldn't collapse on the ground.
Yeah. Or you collapse, but you're quiet.
You're like, right. You're just like,
right.
What do we know?
Anyway.
So they end up taking her to the hospital, of course. She's initially diagnosed with having this ulcer in her stomach due to stress. It's induced because of stress.
Yeah.
And so her dad's like, this is crazy. You can't be worrying about swimming so much or your scholarship. He eventually tells her, look, you need to stop stressing. We'll find another way to pay for college if for some reason you can't swim or you don't get the scholarship. It's fine. So, because in this episode, she really does want to tell him, like, because the stress is getting to her so much, she's like, I need to tell my dad what I did or what A did and just be free of it so she can move on. And he tells her, like, look, it's all right. Then Ren, who is doing his rotations at Rosewood Community Hospital.
For like, would he say 6 to 10 weeks or something like this? No, longer than that. 6 months?
Did he give a time?
I thought he gave a time frame, and I was like, oh, is Ren back as now another character, reoccurring character?
Yeah, well, he had put in that he wanted this hospital, obviously, because he and Melissa at the time were together, and now they are not. And he said, haha, fate has playing a joke on him. We'll see what happens there. But he goes into Emily's room and when she's in private, and he tells her that her labs came back with high doses of HGH in her bloodstream. Human growth hormone, which she denies ever taking, of course. And even though she's an athlete, she still wouldn't, risk it. And she begs him, like, please, I did not do this. Please do not tell my parents. Please buy me some time because I will take your test again. I know I didn't take it. But then on her food, in her soup lid, is a note from A, basically alluding to that she has been, I don't know how this works. She's been rubbing HGH, I guess, on her via the cream.
On her via the cream.
Via the cream.
Yeah. I'm surprised that Ren didn't say, like, hey, we're using any kind of topical treatments. how is this getting into your system?
I guess because it's such a crazy.
Yeah, and maybe he thinks she's lying.
Right. He probably thinks he probably hears it all the time, right? Like kids that are taking
Yeah.
this to, better their scores and stats or whatever. And he probably didn't question it, but we'll see, what the aftermath of that is. But unfortunately, she's got that going on or stuff. So she's having a rough day.
Yeah.
Kat wants to know, do you predict that Emily's swimming career is over for good? Do you think she'll continue?
Not for good.
I mean, it's an ulcer. It's we know the HGH, obviously, but
Yeah.
Everyone only just knows that it's an ulcer. So to me, I'm like, okay, give her a few weeks, she'll be better.
Yeah, but if this is on her medical records,
right.
we have to somehow erase that information or delete it. And I guess Ren will be on their side because he's like way too interested in Spencer.
He's way too interested.
And you're an adult.
It's every single one of them has this lurking predator.
I know.
They're children.
Minus Emily's Oliver, who might be age appropriate. What's her name?
Samara. She might not even be age appropriate.
That's true.
We don't know. They don't confirm. We know for sure Ren is not.
Well, also, like,
he's Melissa's age.
Why would you be so into Spencer? I don't know. I got the vibes that he's very much still into her in this episode.
Like, while I get it, like, she's an appealing person.
But she's in high school.
You have nothing in common. All you do have in common is helping out people because of this fucked up situation.
Like, your priorities, you have your residency right now. Hello? Like, why... To me, you're like in different books.
Different stages of life, different walks of life. Like, none of it makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know.
Right. Well, and then we have Hanna storyline with this parent situation. Another frustrating plot because, as Michelle says, it was a waste of time. As I teased that it would be, Tom has stayed the night and he doesn't really hide it from the girls in the morning. He wants some coffee. Ashley is like, I thought you were going to stay upstairs. Like, he doesn't give a shit. They have a good groove. They're like making innuendos in the breakfast table. Like, it's nasty. Until Hanna gets a save the date from Tom and Isabel's wedding. And Ashley's like, oh, your wedding's in 6 weeks. And like, she knew.
Yeah.
He didn't call it off. But I guess... it was a reality slap that Isabel clearly doesn't know anything, or if she does, is still proceeding with the wedding.
Also, it's 6 weeks. That is such a small...
Yeah, that's like unheard of.
Time.
Or is she rushing it for other reasons? Like, is she trying to rush it to maybe like get Tom quicker?
Yeah, but Tom would know when he's getting married.
Right.
That is something you usually...
No, of course.
No, like discuss with your soon-to-be spouse the day it's happening. Yeah, this was so annoying. Is he gone? Is he on the island?
He's not. No.
All right, but he's not on the island. But is he gone for now?
No. I mean, he might be gone like soon, but he's not.
Well, I'm sure
gone from the season.
We probably have the wedding.
We go back to this
that Hanna goes
situation.
To. I'm predicting now.
Yeah. Later in this episode, since Ashley has seen the save the date, she can't have it on her head anymore. She tells Tom, look, you need to go home. What we're doing is wrong. That's it. Like, I don't want to be this person. Mm-hmm. And now she tells Hanna that I know what it's like to be Isabel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, Isabel was I guess, are you saying Isabel was a mistress and he cheated on you with Isabel?
Pretty much.
So, I guess Isabel knew that he was married. Just like Ashley knows he's going to be getting married.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Ew. Yeah. I'm glad she realized it sooner than later that, like, she doesn't actually want to be with Tom. She just, I guess, had this, like, last hurrah because they ended so poorly and he cheated. I'm sure they have obviously so much history that there was not really like a resolution there.
And I'm sure it's always good to like revisit that old comfort.
Yep.
And it feels wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
So wrong, it's so right.
That's right. That's right.
We'll go back to Ashley in a little bit, but we had in last week's episode this black car
Yeah.
following Caleb, and the same thing is happening in this episode, except this time Hanna notices it. And she notices the car and that they have a file of Caleb.
This is just so obvious. It's in downtown, pure daylight, window is open, and the car is not that far away from Caleb. Anybody could notice this and peek in.
Caleb's making his transaction basically in the middle of the sidewalk, so I don't.
But like you said, it doesn't seem like anything bad is happening. You're just like exchanging money, and
They're exchanging money in a cell phone. Like Mike had emailed, like, what do they think he's actually doing? Like, they make it seem like he's like dealing drugs.
right. And
It's
I guess
just a
to
phone.
Caleb's defense, as he kind of says later on, of like, I stopped looking, or like looking around because why would you look? Like, to him, it's just like, yeah, we're just exchanging
Right. He's like,
money.
I'm just doing my job.
and it's not the bad hustling.
Right. And Hanna keeps like getting herself involved in it, and he's like, please stop telling me what I'm doing is wrong. Like, this is my job. So then Hanna ignores a phone call from him later, and Spencer notices, and at this point she's like, what's going on? So Hanna tells her, I think Caleb's being watched. I haven't told him. And she's like, why? And Hannah's like, because I don't want him to leave.
Yeah.
And Spencer's like, yeah, but if the cops get him, he's leaving anyway. So you basically should just tell him. Yeah. And then to add more stress, this is when she goes home and she sees that Ashley's cleaning out the fridge of all of Tom's stuff. And at this point, I'm like, ooh, Hanna, girl, it's so much more complicated than you could ever imagine. But she's mad at her mother for not being with her father.
Yeah, but doesn't every kid who has divorced parents hope that their parents will get back together?
Absolutely. Like, I can sympathize
Right.
as a 16-year-old wanting your parents to be together. That's the bigger picture, but it's
Right.
not. It's
Right.
both of them individually being happy. And Ashley says, like, I've matured and moved on. Your father has not.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need that in my life. And I'm so happy that she realized it so much sooner than she
Yeah.
could have.
Yeah.
For sure. But, and Hanna, like, storms out. She really is.
She's acting like a
She's
teenager.
Very teenager.
Her
in
age is
this.
showing.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she makes some very, like, not inappropriate comments, but just like careless comments in this episode. So
Yeah.
people were kind of annoyed with her. All right. So back to the Caleb stuff. Hanna is in disguise and she like pulls up to Caleb. She's like, get in the car. It's so ridiculous. And she speeds off and they go to this remote location and she tells him this is Spencer's family's like cabin. It's hidden. And he's like, well, what's going on? So she tells him, I think you're being watched and I have you caught. Obviously you haven't caught on to this. And she says, this is something to do with what you told me last time and your past in Allentown. And he says it could be, but he's not sure. And if this person has something to say to him, they should just say it to his face because he'll, tell them the truth, I guess. So at this point they have like a sweet little cabin fire, and because Hanna tells him, I didn't tell you because I was afraid you were gonna leave, and he's like, I'm not going anywhere.
It was sweet.
It was sweet. It was a very romantic, what you would love to have as a 16-year-old.
Yes. I ate
With
it up.
the brush of the
Oh,
hair.
I ate it up. I was like, I love watching these two on screen together.
Yeah, they have great chemistry.
Mm-hmm. The sounds tonight.
There's so many.
Sounds like a
sounds.
giant monster's gurgling stomach. It's where we live.
Vic asked if we would leave town if we were Caleb.
I don't know.
I don't know. It depends on what I think they thought I did. I guess.
I know. I need to understand.
Right? It's very like there's no details.
We don't know enough yet, and Caleb
Right.
doesn't think it's a big deal yet.
Right.
So in Caleb's mind, he's like, I don't have to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Later, Hanna sees this black car and she goes up to it and she's like, hey, you, stop. Listen, Caleb has friends and family here. They're not going to let him go anywhere. They're going to protect him. So leave him alone and get out.
Can you imagine?
No, I could never imagine.
Balls to do that?
I know. I'm like, girl, you don't know who you're messing with. This guy could pull a gun out at you.
I know.
But she didn't care, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Caleb comforts Hannah later on. They're outside of Lucky Leon's and they're watching this family have ice cream together, and Hannah's depressed because she's like, I'm never gonna have that. I'm never gonna have the two happy parents and the happy kid. And Caleb like comforts her, and then we pan back to this black car, and you hear this man say to someone on the phone, he knows that I'm here and he doesn't want to see you.
So I'm taking that as family related, or like you used to work with us family related.
Okay.
Like it's either chosen family or blood family, is because it's making it seem like it's his choice. Like Caleb's fully aware he's choosing not to.
Right. Well, I also think that whoever he's talking to on the phone he's not explaining. Like Caleb knows that someone's watching him, but he doesn't know who that person is, or
right.
Besides what Hannah has told him. So that person saying like he doesn't want to see you. Well, Caleb doesn't know who this person on the other side of the phone call is. So,
but it's making it seem like it was hired to spy.
Like this person, yeah,
like he's a PI,
hired to watch Caleb, find out things about him,
and not for like criminal activity.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
People want to know who exactly do you think this person is talking to?
I think it's blood family or chosen family. Like
anyone specific?
I'm trying to remember if Caleb said if his. I don't remember what you told me. Is Caleb mom's died?
She's not dead.
Dad's dead.
He's not dead.
I don't even know why Caleb is the way he is. I don't remember.
I think
it's awful. Guys, I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure, if my memory serves me correctly, his mom left when he was small.
Okay. So
and I don't think he ever knew who his dad was.
Okay, so I'm going to go with mom. And okay, I'm going to go with mom.
Good. That's good.
Thank you.
Okay, over to Aria. First, though, we have to talk about Mike, who is still angsty, very teenager angst in this episode. Ella witnesses him, and it seems to be one of his friends in an altercation when this classmate says to him, like, oh, like breaking and entering is your new sport. And Mike gets upset and they push each other, but Ella gets in there pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. And she tries to connect with him and he just blows her off. And then later she goes into his bedroom and she's trying to connect to him further and he just blows up. He's like, I can't be vulnerable with you because I don't know if you're going to leave again. Which I'm like, what did you think about this reasoning for why he has this behavior?
Well, I mean, he's feeling some sort of neglect.
Right.
But like, she's been back for I think we should have saw more strain on the family to have Mike act out like this.
Right. Agreed. And I guess like you're supposed to use your imagination and put the pieces together. Oh, this family dynamic has been ruined for a while. But like, it's, the scene didn't affect me.
It fell short.
It didn't feel complete. I wanted to hear a little bit more about why you're feeling neglected. And like, I'm not trying to invalidate the reasoning.
Right.
But you can see Ella, she's thinking, then she like kind of, the way Holly portrays it, like she like has a light bulb, like, oh, this is why he's doing it. And I'm like, okay, well, it's good that she knows.
Yeah.
But I don't know, there's something more needs to come from that. Especially
if we are leaning into this and giving this screen time, then provide.
Right.
Or is this another like
airtime?
And if it was just to serve the purpose to throw us off a little bit with the whole Jenna thing and the vase and to leave us to Everett. Garrett. What is wrong with me?
There's a lot of people's names you have to remember.
No, guys, we're like a season and episodes into this. I should have everybody down pat. But Everett, where did I get that from?
I don't know. It's a nice name.
Paulo. I don't remember what I was saying.
The device, like.
Okay, yes. Yeah. Okay, thank you. If that was all we were going to do with Mike, we should have just like let this fade out. And I don't think any of us would have noticed, like, wow, we never went back to that. The whole gun comment, remember that? I remember that. Mm-hmm. But I guess we're still continuing of we need to work on Mike and we need to work on Tom and Hanna. Hello, can we just focus on Allison's murder and A? That is why we're here.
I know. If we did, then we would only have like a 3-season show.
That's fine. It's probably for the best.
It would have been for the best.
Yeah.
It would have been. This show, I think, would have done really well if it was nowadays with a 10 episode.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how television is now. They would have had to really get to the point.
Right.
Yeah. So a little bit of Ezra going on, who is just unbearable. He comes to see Arya. She's at Hollis in Pottery. She's the only one there. She has to finish a project. And he mentions, you blew past my apartment this morning. Basically, like, saying, like, you didn't come and say hello. And, like, I had to come and find you here. And then she kind of brushes off, like, a gesture he was doing to her. Like, he was, like, putting his arms around her. And she's like, can we do this later? Like, can we not? I have to finish this.
Yeah, he was trying to, like, recreate Ghost.
Yeah. Oh,
no. We were saying this when we were watching. We both really liked Arya and how she's not so, like, you know, falling to him.
Yeah, I really appreciate
she's needy.
He's so, I think it's like an extreme because he's so needy, and it's refreshing to see her not like fall at his feet.
Yeah, and you know, he's feeling a little threatened from the Jason situation.
Well, I would be as well.
Yeah, I guess. We're still waiting for that.
No, but I just mean this scenario of you're dating someone in secret, nobody knows.
Yeah.
And I feel like she's at a point where she's like actually confident in their relationship so much that she doesn't need that neediness, that time with him. But he's seeing like someone else could be obviously interested in her, or, you know, that she could be vulnerable with someone else, and he gets super needy.
Yeah.
So I like that dynamic because when we first see them, like they're so ridiculously crazy for each other, even though it felt like to me there's no substance.
And a lot of the time it was her.
It was her
being very much.
Yeah. And he was like, okay, well, what do you want me to do about it? And now it's like role reversal, and he's the needy one, and it's so unbecoming of him. And then he flat out just asks her, should I worry about Jason? And she's like, what? Excuse me? No.
Can I just finish my pottery?
Like, I just need to finish this. Enough.
Yeah.
But he's like, please call me later. She's like, I'll call you later. She
it.
doesn't, by the way, because she has other things to do. But in this scene, though, I have to add that he says to her, why didn't you tell me about Mike? And she says, I was embarrassed. And the only person that knew was Jason, because he had broken into his house and he was caught. And he's like, oh, that's what you guys were talking about. Like, kind of feels better about it. But, you know, he just wants to know, is Jason a threat? And then, as we said, Ezra goes to see Arya at the hospital with Emily.
This was so weird. It
was so unnecessary. Spencer's like, oh, he's texting. She's like, yeah, he texted, but he's in the lobby. Like, I forgot to call him. And he's like, what can I do? And I'm like, what are you going to do? The fact that these girls are even there to stay with her, like,
yeah.
I can, a parent, yes, it makes sense. A sibling, yes. But, like, I can't imagine, like, me just, not, of course I do it for you, but me hanging around for 12 hours to see how your ulcer is at the hospital.
Yeah, not 12 hours. Definitely would visit and visit multiple days in a row.
Visiting hours. But I wouldn't be, like, you know, staying.
Yeah, and then just for Ezra to show up again because he's feeling like something's not right.
Yeah, he's feeling a little neglected, I guess, in his relationship.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, you can come over after. And she's like, I'm going to go home.
Ew.
No, I'm tired. Like,
dude,
I'm just going to go straight home. My parents are already crazed.
Yeah.
So no. And then she gets a call from Jason. And he's like, oh, you need to take that? And she's like, no, it's just my dad. Oh, so she lied. Because she doesn't want him to feel uncomfortable. But oh well. Okay, and then over to Spencer. We have the girls now are on to Garrett because of this Jenna and the pottery. And they're parked outside Emily's old house because she had to go check on the tenants from an alarm situation. And they see Garrett, who used to be her next door neighbor, head into Jenna's house with nobody home. They witness, it's so ridiculously awkward, Jenna in front of the window undressing into her lingerie, and the girls are like gasping, like, I guess because they didn't realize they were hooking up. They just thought that, I guess, they were in cahoots and friends or like working together. So now they're like noticing, like, oh no, ew, they're hooking up.
I have to say,
which is illegal.
Sure, but we haven't seen Jenna in a couple episodes. So to have this like reveal, like, welcome back, Queen. She's just standing in front of the window with the lights on, no shades, no curtains.
Like, why is she standing in front of the window? I'm like, she doesn't know that there's people looking at her.
But Garrett does. Garrett,
people
why?
in the chat are like, doesn't he sense that someone's looking at him?
Not even that. Like, I don't know. If it's dark out, I'm not really making out with my lover in front of wide open windows, especially with this age difference. Anybody can see these two hooking up.
It's not good.
They do it right by the window.
They didn't close the window. It really was bad. Because you can stare right in. In the dark, when the lights are on, you can look right into everyone's houses.
And they're right by the window.
And they were right in
this
front
isn't
of the
like
window.
we're doing a long view
I don't
here.
know, maybe they wanted to like
I think
get
they're kind of into that voyeurism, you know?
Like a kinky shit.
All right.
Yeah,
okay.
Mike had asked, have either of us ever done something in front of an open window, not thinking people could look in?
I
think so. I'm pretty like specific about not doing things or like not being nude coming out of the shower when I know it's dark out and the lights are on and the windows open.
I mean,
but in the daytime, yeah, it's okay because I'll just run to the other room, whatever. But
no, not that I know of.
Not that I've like no one's ever reported back. I mean, like, saw you at the window.
Yeah.
We're boring people.
Yeah.
Garrett sees Spencer at school and he asks her why that she cut the convo short. It seems like you were getting somewhere, he says to her. And she's like, yeah, my mom called me. I had to go. And he seems to be interested in what Spencer wants to know. And then they show us an important but a quick scene of Garrett and Jenna in the car, and they're doing their stupid, silly private talk about the Jason and the whatever thing. And Jenna tells him that this needs to be taken care of because Garrett says that Spencer's questioning the murder weapon, if a male or female had used it, if Ian had killed Allie. And so Jenna's like, we need to take care of this. And I'm like, you gave no details here, obviously, because they know something we don't.
Well, obviously, but I can't even give a good prediction on that.
I can't even give a good prediction on it.
I truly have no flipping clue.
Nope. I think they're just trying so hard to make these two look very suspicious. And not saying they're not suspicious, because they could be suspicious of many things.
Suspicious.
But the way they're doing it now, especially like in season 2, I feel like
it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't. You're just, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Interesting.
I don't like, that's just my opinion. Like, obviously I know what happens, but like with this, I specifically remember absolutely nothing of what they're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm curious, those who have seen this series before,
those who know more than me,
those who know, can you write to Liz, send us an email?
Can you tell me?
And yeah, fill her in, and then maybe she can fill me in a way that doesn't super spoil. Like, does this have a good follow up?
Right, like I don't
follow
remember. I remember some stuff. I remember some stuff, but I don't know what we're talking about right now.
Right.
I don't know what we're getting at right now. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
So Spencer is surprised to see Ren at her door. He tells her he's looking for Melissa. She's not in town. She went back to Philly. And then this is when he tells her, oh yeah, I'm moving to Rosewood again because I'm in rotation. And can we get a cup of coffee? I'm knackered. I guess he's tired.
Yes. Yes.
And she's like, oh, you want to date me? Well, I have a boyfriend. And he's like, we could do tea. It's fine. He's so annoying and inappropriate. Yeah.
I can't believe he's back.
Oh, so Kat says, what do you think will come of Ren's 6-month
Oh, it is 6 months. Okay.
in Rosewood? Why did he accept or not even attempt to go to another location?
Yeah, well, we know why. We're into the little sister.
We're into the little sis. And he's trying to be charming. He's not.
Right.
It's not coming across that.
It's not good.
No.
I'm not into it.
Michelle said multiple times this felt like The Secret Life of the American Teenager tonight.
Yeah,
and I have to agree.
It felt very ABC Family.
Yes.
It felt very Secret Life.
Mm-hmm.
The music was giving One Tree Hill.
Yeah. Very
So
loud. And what we
loud.
mean by that is loud that you couldn't hear the dialogue.
Yeah, the volume, the use of music, like the choices over certain scenes or under whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Uh-huh. Not great.
And then she just randomly is like, hey, do you know how to you want to look at a dead body with me? Like, do you know how to read a autopsy report? And he's like, what? And so she kind of picks his brain a little bit about murder weapons, which I have to mention, and I could potentially be making up things here, and please, listeners, correct me, but I thought when they had pronounced her dead and found her body in the first season, they told us she died from strangulation.
I also.
Or asphyxiation, right?
Yeah.
She died from not being able to breathe.
Well, the dirt.
Right. However, Spencer and all they just keep getting their head wrapped around a murder weapon. It's like, well, if she was strangled or if she was smothered, there wouldn't necessarily be like a murder weapon. So I'm like, why are we hanging on this?
Well, because then they find out the dirt. So she was buried alive.
Right. So then we develop it more. When we go to the morgue, the girls look at her autopsy report and they find that, yes, she did die of asphyxiation because she was buried alive, but she was also hit in the head with a blunt object.
Yeah.
But I was just so confused. I'm like, why are they going so hard on this like murder weapon if they told everyone that she was like she died of asphyxiation? I don't know. But I mean, so technically she did.
Yeah, because, and what it seems like she was running, trying to escape, was hit over the head, fell. They were like, let me get rid of this, buried her alive, essentially.
Yeah.
They just left that part out.
Right. Which, because,
it's so dark.
It's so dark, so deep.
Whoa.
And if the family even knows this, like, that's really fucked up and really sad stuff to hear about anyone. And the girls, unfortunately, they put themselves in the line of fire, but they had to read that about their friend.
Yeah.
They take this file and they go show Emily, and at this point Spencer's like, it had to be Jason because he's the last person that had this hockey stick. I know Aria doesn't want to hear this, but I think that it was Jason. And then they're looking through the autopsy report. They find every page except for number 5, and on number 5 is like exactly how she
I guess that
died. I mean, I'm not really, do they tell us what's on page 5? I guess it's just the part where maybe the summary of like who they think is
like
they think
the suspect,
right? Like a suspect of like stature of a person or gender or something like that. That's missing, of course. And then our last scene is someone in the morgue lying down, and then they like pop up as if they were hiding under a sheet. Very ridiculous.
Also,
like, presumably
just like that janitor eating Oreos.
Like, while
is that the janitor, or is I guess it's the guy who works in the morgue?
What's that? Is that a mortician? No, that's someone who like
funeral
fancies
home.
Up the bodies.
Fancies up
at a funeral home. Maybe it's not. No, I don't think it was the coroner.
Yeah,
right. That's who. That's
just like an open package of Oreos.
Yeah, no, gross.
And we're just eating them. Gross.
It's gross. But we're going to take a short break, and I hope you enjoy this secret voicemail. I'm going to play it 5th time. Okay, so we're back from break, and we're going to talk about the Rosewood Shop. Thank you to Michael for sending this ice cream flavor paired with this episode. The scoop of the week is a Malteser, and in parentheses he put, I wondered if you pronounce this properly. Well, bitch, I Googled it.
Ooh.
It's a Malteser McFlurry, so I guess this Malteser is a chocolate they have elsewhere. So it's soft dairy ice cream swirled with mini Malteser clusters. Malteser are spheroid, malted, milk-centered, surrounded by milk chocolate. So I guess it's a Whopper. It's a Whopper.
Okay.
But our Whoppers aren't spheres. They're like circles. So maybe that's what makes them different.
All right. Never mind. Keep going.
Isn't a circle a sphere? I guess,
no,
right?
It could be flat as spheres. Okay. Continue.
The holes in the malted centers represent the many holes in this episode. First, there are the holes in Emily's stomach, which you'd think would be the center of her problems, but it looks like it's really A that's the pain in her side. We have the hole in Allison's autopsy report. Tom has decided to go back to Isabel, once again leaving an empty hole in Ashley and Hannah's life. And finally, we have the holes that could be in clay while it's spinning on a potter's wheel as Unchained Melody is playing. Puke, unfortunately. None of these holes are dipped in delicious chocolate. Too bad. It make them easier for everyone to digest.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks,
the ice cream shop in Rosewood is called Leon's.
Lucky Leon's.
So should it be like Lucky Leon's scoop of the week?
It should be.
And Michael is the head ice cream.
Michael is the owner of Lucky Leon's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or he likes the manager that scoops the ice cream flavor.
He comes up with the flavors.
Because normally, like, we don't this episode we happen to have shown ice cream there, but it was the cupcakes that we saw with Hanna and the pig.
It's like
remember?
a sweet shop.
Sweet treat.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you ready for MVP and shittiest?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, MVP on 3.
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Ashley.
Yes. Yes, girl. She was great, and I'm just glad that she took charge and
she said, I changed, but your dad hasn't, and that's not good enough for me.
And she doesn't want to be Isabel.
She doesn't want to be Isabel. She doesn't want to repeat old habits. They die hard.
You can either grow or you can evolve. I mean, you can either grow. You can either grow, evolve, or stay the same is what
exactly.
I'm just gonna continue. Any of those. Pick your choice.
You could stay the same or you could grow.
Thank you.
Shittiest.
So I didn't have a shittiest. I had the most annoying.
I have. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
You want to do most annoying on 3?
Sure.
3, 2, 1.
Ezra.
Hannah. But Ezra's. I had Hanna when I did my notes originally, but Ezra honestly I think takes it from me.
It's just annoying. That's
Yeah.
He wasn't shitty.
No, he just was annoying. He was just really needy this episode.
Yeah. Hanna, because of how she reacted with her mom.
Yeah, and just like the comments about the holes in the stomach, and then telling Arya like, I think your brother is gonna, be off the streets or whatever. And
yeah,
I love her always, but the comments were immature.
I did want to give a blue ribbon to Wayne.
Yes,
he was pretty great.
I also maybe wanted to give a blue ribbon to Ella for the way she tried to at least have a conversation with her kid.
Yep.
She's trying.
Yeah.
I would give this like a 5.5 to a 6 on a cringe.
Yeah.
Would you give it more than that?
No, it's good. A 6 is good.
6. This is the cringiest yet.
Wow.
Woo, yeah.
I'm so curious if our listeners felt the same. Chat, what are we
thinking about the cringiness?
Do we think that it was pretty cringe this episode? Like more so.
And there was like there was a filter on it in some of it, like the scene with Mike and Ella and the friend in school.
Chaz.
It was like
that's
blurry.
what I'm talking about. They always look like they're in a dream sequence.
Yeah,
like a
Ashley
flashback
too. That scene in the house.
Know.
I don't know why they do that.
Brittany says, "Buckle up for the cringe."
Oh yeah, well of course.
More to come. It was so much cringe.
More to come. Unfortunately, but fortunately for us in the content, it's good.
Yeah, I mean it's fun to watch. Yeah.
And next week is a fun episode. We might have a special guest as well. The title, are you ready for
Mhm.
season 2, episode 9,
Mhm.
is Picture This.
Okay.
My secret is juicy. Jenna is a candidate for a cornea transplant, and she hopes to restore her vision. I know. Aren't we excited for her? Jenna with vision. She's speechless. I gave her such a good secret.
Oh
I know.
my
I was
God.
like, I want to give Michelle a really good one.
This is so
And that's not even
great.
like the bulk of the episode. I mean, it's good shit, but
I really hope it happens.
Me
I
too.
wonder if they like go to do it and they're like, wait, you can
You can't
actually see
see.
this whole time. No, she'll get her vision back. Maybe she'll lie about getting her vision back, and then she can mess with the girls.
Oh yeah, it's so Jenna.
That is what I'm hoping for.
That's so Pretty Little Liars.
Yes, that's what I'm hoping for.
I love it.
But Toby would have to tell Spencer about that.
He would have to,
Yeah.
unless he doesn't know. But I feel like that's a
I
pretty
mean,
big
they
thing
live
to
in
hide
the
from your
same
family.
house.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
She'd have to hide from everyone. She couldn't even hide it. She'd have to,
Yeah. That's really exciting.
It is.
I'm really looking forward to that. I hope to see Jason next week.
You will.
Just to stir the Ezra Arya pot. I really want them shaken. I would also love for his ex to come back,
Jackie.
make an appearance. She's welcome anytime. I'm
trying to think of when she's not gone, but I don't remember when
I
she
welcome her to the room.
makes an appearance. Yeah, there's lots of stuff going on next week.
Yeah, and I actually think this Emily swim thing is probably just going to be like, oh, I'm still resting, and that's it. I don't think we're going to revisit swim for a little while.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Mhm.
Everyone really wants to know, what do we think, or what do you think is missing from that page on the autopsy report? Hanna has been said did I deleted something there? That's right. Anyway, so what do we think is on that autopsy report?
I think maybe it gives a description of who they think
the assailant was like 6 foot something,
right?
or like
based on footprints found in the area, this could have been a size whatever shoe.
Yeah.
I
feel like,
yeah.
but then again, I feel like if it was that, and they had arrested, well, Ian had said, yeah, I killed her, and he's dead or whatever. Why would that information matter? Like, the information probably wouldn't contradict, is what I mean. Because then wouldn't they be like, wait, that makes no sense? If it was someone else that wasn't like his stature, his height, his weight, his sex, whatever. You know what I mean?
Or maybe they were just totally off.
Or maybe.
And
Or
then
yeah, maybe they're like, oh, it's not 100%. And
yeah, they're totally off, and Jason admitted to it, so they're like, okay. Plus, they're not going to revisit. Not Jason, Ian. Oh, guys.
See, now you're saying, well, you didn't say Ian though. You said Jason, so that's a step up.
Wait, what did I say?
You were always calling them all Ian, but now you called him Jason.
Right.
You just can't get it right.
Right.
I know, they're like the same in their brain.
I know, but they're not. They're not the same at all. Yeah. I don't know. I guess we don't ever find out what's on that paper.
Or we do? I don't remember.
Man, this podcast sucks, doesn't it, guys?
This podcast sucks. I'm sorry. It's like
and
there's some things that I go back and I'm like, I need to know the answer of it right this second. And then there's some things where I'm just like, I'll just find out with everyone else.
Oh no, you do a beautiful job. I'm like, wait, whose name is this? Everett? Everett? Jeez, I can make my own show.
What is the other one? Oh, Baron, Everett.
Baron, right. Yeah, I should go talk about Pretty Little Liars and use those names and see how far I get. Be like, wait, what? But hey, we're getting some vision next week. I'm excited for that.
Well, she's a candidate.
Great.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Good for you, Jenna.
Good for you, Queen.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
All right. Until next week, thank you for listening. Thank you to our Betties who are in the live chat. If that's something that interests you, our description has our Patreon link, so check it out.
Yeah.
And we'll be back next week for episode 9. It's a doozy. Picture this. Wink, wink. Yeah. Britt, I think you're in here, right? You know what I mean.
She is in
You know
here.
what I mean, girl. All right, bye.